Bada bing. Welcome everyone, Mate Talk time. Good to be before you all, and I want to thank you for the amazing comments, the open conversation that we all had when it comes to all things clones, and the last week's episode, the further conversation that sort of elaborated from that, the points that I put forward, and some other comments that came through. Anyway, the bottom line is I actually really enjoyed that. I mean, it was almost like in a sort of delayed way, being in the same room together, you know. So there was this dynamic conversation that occurred all across the world. Super cool. I am planning to do more of this sort of thing. So we'll make sure to. I've got some other questions that I've got in my mind, and the ability to. I think it's called a Greek chorus, where so many people come in and everyone contributes and adds their thoughts, and also adds their own personal experience. Because I mean, life is our, you know, it's our life, and we're living it because we're the main character. It's not main character syndrome. It's just that we are the main character because it's about our life. Today, sorry, I'm a little bit I'm tired because this is. I've talked about it. This is a 4-week project, and it is a marathon. We start early, we finish late, and it's actually taxing physically. And then if you don't sleep at night, last night I had a mosquito, and this mosquito was relentless. It was like, I turned the light on. It was 1 a.m, turned the light on, where are you? Buzzing around my ear, then it just sort of vanished, and then it would reappear. This thing was driving me insane. Anyway. And it was hitting me, you know, like I was getting bitten. Anyway, Australia in summer. Announcements at the end of this will be, there is the OT Traveler promo that's going on right now. We'll go to the end of this month. We've had some entries. I'll tell you more about that. And believe it or not, it is the 5th birthday of NFC coming up on the 5th of February. I want to give you a little bit of a taste of what, you know, so next week I'm going to go elaborate more deeper into this, but this, I want to share a little bit more on that. And there's a promo. There's a really cool prize that I'm going to be giving away, which is a full bottle of the Dolce Milano. There's a reason for that, so we'll tie it all in together. I've mentioned that I've been testing. Boom, these are the brands. And all of these brands, I don't know if, I did ask people, are you familiar with them? I've only had a few people reach out going, yeah, I know this one, I know that one. Most of them are fairly new brands. These are the brand owners. I've been in conversation with them since Cannes last year. I'm always looking for a balance, meaning that, okay, so here's the classifications that I have on the channel. I'm always looking for fragrances that can actually fit each of these classifications. So if you're a designer, so if you love designer fragrances and you want to, you know, come into it, then, you know, new recruits is something it's important. But if now you're seasoned and you want to expand and you want to create or find something that's a little bit unique and different, so obviously deeper down is where we land. These brands here that I mentioned, they're all unique. They're all different. You just, you know, for new recruits, fear not. I've got some awesome things coming up. They are more in the discovery series side of things. These brands here are fairly new to the market. Last week I talked about Grimoire, which is an incredible Aussie house. They're doing really, really impressive work. However, they are deeper down in that classification. Today I'm going to talk about a brand called Olymra. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, see if I can shine it so you can see that. Actually, here's the logo. Don't know why I'm coming to that much trouble. Olymra. So this is a new brand. The basis of it is that the perfumer, the founder, her name is Frida. She's a Greek-born. Now, Frida, if you're watching this, and if I made a mess of this, correct me in the comments, please. She's a Greek-born woman who lives in Switzerland. She is a chemist by trade, and wants to celebrate her Greek roots, and in particular, Mount Olympus. Now, I'd been in conversation with Frida late last year as she was bringing her brand to market. And this setup intrigued me instantly. I'm like, okay, you basically, you had me at hello, you know, with all these elements, you know, and the thought of capturing these unique herbal notes or these unique florals that are found on Mount Olympus, connected all the things mythology and Zeus and, you know, the gods. I mean, forget about it. Like I said, you had me at hello with that sort of stuff. So here are some images also of Frida at work. Now, she was kind enough to send me this little the sample set, and I have been testing quite extensively. Here's the photo. Have a look at. You can see the, I guess, in order of my love for them, or the way that I've been using, I should say. You can see that, and I'm going to go through in the same order as you can see them there. One thing that I have done, and this is what I always do when I'm testing, is do not look at notes. I don't know what's in the fragrance. I'm going to tell you things that I believe. I'm going to spray them as we're talking, because the one thing that I'm finding really exciting about these fragrances is that where they begin and then how they transition and then where they land are three different places. And I'm really excited. At first, and in complete transparency, at first I'm like, I don't think this is for me. This is really very herbal. There's a very, very particular notes that are in there. But like in all things, I just allow it to take shape. And then slowly, I'm like, whoa, these are awesome. Now, the great thing too is that during the AO, the weather that we're experiencing is extreme and intense. So we have these, tomorrow is going to be 41. So today I'm filming, it's Monday today. It's a very pleasant day. I think it's about 20, 30 degrees. Tomorrow's 41, and it's just, it's intense, the heat, the wind. So tomorrow's going to be crazy. And it has been like this as I've been wearing some of these. So it's worked really well. These fragrances work really well in the AO. The only downside to this is that these fragrances are not designed for this kind of environment. These fragrances, I believe, are more, they're a bit more sophisticated in their structure than the, you know, sort of, it's not something that has this long, massive notes or bass notes, I'm guessing, because they're leaving me probably about 4 hours deep. But this is because of the sweat, the movement, the extreme conditions that I'm putting these fragrances through. I think if I would use them as an office fragrance, or coming, working at the office. Sorry, I'm going to keep moving. I want this to be a short MATÉ talk, but I'm rambling. Damn it. As office fragrances, they would be amazing. Boom. Let me just begin. I'm tempted to restart, but I'm going to keep going. Sorry. Like I said, I think lack of sleep is what the problem here is. The first one that I want to talk about, now actually, last thing to put into context, I have been testing alongside others. This is my crew here. This is part of my crew. There's 8 of us in total, but these are my seasoned perfume lovers. So I've got my editors and also Josh, who is also connected. I don't know if I should reveal who Josh is connected to, one of these 2 young ladies. And they are seasoned when it comes to fragrances. They're fairly astute when it comes to the fragrances that I have in my collection, and also they're able to define what they're experiencing. But I got two novices, these 2 handsome men here. I work with them, and this is Harley and also Hayden, and they are even before a new recruit. They own 1 perfume each. Harley loves YSL, and Hayden is Hugo Boss. He isn't into me. I don't know which Hugo Boss it is. I just know that it's a Hugo Boss, and I love that one. Boom. So it was perfect to actually experience these fragrances with these guys, because these are brand new. They know that I'm into fragrances and the niche fragrance collector channel. So it was great to have them and add their contribution to this. Let me begin with this one. This is pronounced THALMYRON. Anyway, boom, this thing here. I've got my field notes, and I've been writing. These are direct notes, so I haven't sort of retranscribed them. So I'm going to give you the raw stuff that's coming through. I recommend these to you. I recommend you buy the sample set and check them out for yourself. But to give you a quick sort of feeling for what they are, this is my take. So as you can see from the photo, this is the most popular, the one that I've been wearing quite regularly. This is also the one that's resonated with everyone. It is a very straightforward fragrance to appreciate, I believe. The core of it, the classic nature of it, in my view, is that it's a very ozonic, sort of marine style fragrance. But not so, more sea air, so more, like I said, ozonic. It's atmosphere. There is a sense of being close to an ocean. As you're driving to the ocean, for instance, you're just beginning to get that sea air intermingled with the environment that you're in. I had the team sort of trying to describe it, and I like Hannah. She had the best sort of description, and what she felt was it was like walking through an apple orchard. And when she said that, I'm like, I can actually picture this. I can see these, not necessarily apples in the actual fruit, but the blossom. You know, these pink blossoms, this lush green, this very earthy almost, and also like not wearing any shoes and just feeling the earth. There is a sense of calm with this fragrance. It would be, this is the one that I have, as I said, been wearing quite regularly with the sweat and with the heat and everything else. It actually sort of projects beautifully. It does have a watery effect. There is, as I said, that ozonic, oceans kind of scent profile to it. Josh also mentioned that this is one, he goes, this one, these are exact words. This is one that if I was a boss, in charge of a team, this is one that I would wear to give me confidence, so that I can go in, because it's an equal part boss, but also statement maker. I would go into a boardroom and I would say, you're fired to people. There's a joke that we have whenever everyone makes a mistake. So if they drop something, I instantly say to them, you're fired, and so it's just become a joke within the crew. So yeah, but basically he's saying that this is a statement maker. This is one that sort of creates a level of bold confidence. And you could fire someone and they wouldn't take it too badly. They're like, okay, I accept that I'm fine because I made a mistake. The opening of it does have fruity, light touch elements to it. As it does dry down, it does go into this musky, floral musk place. The ozonic nature of it, the watery effect, pretty much stays there all through the fragrance, but those sweet fruit note or something that's in that, so it does pull itself backwards. It does become a wonderful musky scent, but not heavy. There's nothing animalic about these first three. There's nothing animalic in there. Really enjoyed it. So really enjoyed this one, and this one here is the winner all round for everybody. Even my novices, both Hayden and Harley, at the end of, we sprayed, and then I checked in with them probably 2 hours deeper, and then again another 2 hours deeper again, and throughout that whole process they really enjoyed this one. So for me, I think this is an all-round winner for anyone to appreciate. Let me move on to this one here, which is OREANTHEA. Boom, I'm just going to put it here. I've got the wrong glasses on, and I think I'm pronouncing it right. This is the second one that I really also enjoyed, but I think it now begins to, let me spray again, begins to move into unusual. Okay. So it has a very sharp, herbal, aromatic opening to it, to the point where on first sprays, my two novices, my two young Padawans, they were a little bit like, I don't know if I like this one. That was the initial comment. It almost feels like there is a think of the stalk of lavender when you sort of, sort of run your finger through and you get that mixture of the oils. But that oil is aromatic, it's lavender, but it also has a green touch to it. And that's what I'm getting from here. Sharp, aromatic, sense of brightness. Hannah did mention that this is one where THALMYRON is a very easy unisex fragrance. OREANTHEA was one that was a lot more masculine leaning. The best way that I can define this, and actually I'll go, sorry, one more. Josh loved this one. This is the one he kept like, this is really good. And the transition on this fragrance is phenomenal. That sharp, aromatic, lavender sort of scent profile does pull itself back. That herbal element does pull itself back. It does go into much more of a, I guess, almost classic aromatic. For me, this is a niche green Irish tweed. For those who love green Irish tweed, it has those particular element profiles to it. Another one that I've been really loving, very much enjoying, it is a little bit more on the familiar side, meaning green Irish tweed is a big hit, but it's a niche version of it. It's quite a unique take. Again, going back, Hannah, I'm back. So what I was saying, the OREANTHEA is a beautiful, almost familiar but unique masculine leaning fragrance, aromatic, niche green Irish tweed. It's the one that the boys, so Josh, Hayden, and Harley, all were like, they were all impressed by it. I'll tell you at the end where everybody landed when it comes to their choice. But as a good, unique fragrance, I'd recommend it to you. The one that's getting a little bit of, a bit more polarizing is ACHILLEA. I'm really enjoying this one, by the way. This one did, at the start, like, whoa, what is going on here? Very herbal, very unusual in its opening. But the transition, the dry down, forget about it. There's a gentleman by the name of Mohammed from Norway, awesome young man. And I saw that there was some kind of trade show. He went to that trade show. Frida was there. I saw some photos of the two of them together. And I did ask him, what did you think of the Olymra? And he mentioned that, again, that he was quite impressed with the collection. The one that he was having difficulty with was ACHILLEA. And so that intrigued me even more. And I wanted to unbox it. I showed the team, and everyone I sprayed, they were all like, what is happening? And all I said to them is, look, this is unusual. So prepare yourself for that opening, but we'll come back to it as it begins to dry down, and then I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Let me spray it. So it's a mixture of this very herbal green with a minty element to it. When I think of mint, I do think of Torino 21. The difference with that mint in there is that it's blended with the sugary lemon, so it's vibrant, it's summery, there's a mojito sort of feel to it, it's an uplift. Whereas here, it's a little bit like, I'm not so sure, I don't understand. Everyone has said the same thing, they're like, I'm getting this green, and it takes them a little bit, like, oh, there's like a mint, so the mint is almost hidden a little bit, but the mint, there is a minty sort of scent profile to it. The one thing that I'm getting from it, in keeping within that theme, is this cannabis note. Now, I find that cannabis, from the fragrances that I have, has this very green, sour, almost scratchiness to it. And I find that this is having that sort of profile to it. I don't know if they were growing cannabis on Mount Olympus. Zeus maybe was up to something, I guess, I don't know. But it's really trippy. It's a very not destabilized. There's nothing in here. So there's no heavy animalics. Nothing to make you go, ooh, that poopy smell that you sometimes get in fragrances. and you're like, I don't think I like this. This very much centers on the greenness of it. It is, as I said, a bit scratchy in its profile. It could even be compared to, think of Elysium, the Eau Intense, with that very sharp grapefruit note. But then, and this is the magic of it, and this is what I was saying, to spray it, get that first impression, see what you think, but give it a chance to sort of settle itself down. It's already beginning to settle down. 15, 20 minutes from now, this gets a slight fruit sweetness in there. There's another something happening there. When it does dry down, it does go into a confident maker. This is now, there is a bold masculine edge to it. Hannah did say that this could be something that a female could wear, not something that she would wear. Most of the boys were not so sure, but they did appreciate where it began and how it moved. Josh did mention that there seems to be like a licorice, sort of like a fennel note somewhere hanging in the background. Again, complexity on this is divine. I would recommend, this is a veteran onward. There's a lot of things happening here, but one that I've really enjoyed. And I think maybe it works really well in that really strong, glorious summer heat. So Achilles, as you can see, have really, sort of hit that one hard and really, and I naturally gravitate to it. So I always measure things on reach and use. Obviously, throughout the tennis, it's been, what am I reaching for? I am testing, so I have a number of fragrances on my arms, but there are certain days where I'm like, okay, just what would you naturally grab? And Achilles is one that I'm like, you know what, I like you. You're weird, but you're divine, and the way you dry down, the way you move is something that I enjoy. The next two, not that I mentioned before, there's nothing animalic in these fragrances, but now we're moving into slightly more unusual, robust notes. This one here is the more pleasant one. The last one, I'll tell you about that. This is called Persephone. Oh, poor Frida, she's like, no, bro, that's not how you say it. So this one here, and I love spraying this on everybody because the first reaction, and being completely transparent, is bleh. So I sprayed this firstly on Hannah and Josh. We were testing first, and Hannah's first sort of guttural response was like, bleh, that's pretty intense. Josh was like, oh, this is unusual, this is a bit different. This is gorgeous. This is really, this is one where, again, on that opening, you're like, whew, what is happening here? I think I may have done the same sort of bleh when I first sprayed it. I also tend to find that when there are fragrances that take me almost by the throat at the beginning, there's something here that I need to explore deeper down. I've also discovered that when a note is so pronounced on that opening, it's because that note then seems to play deeper down on its dry down. I've now become accustomed to it, and sometimes it's like when you smell something that is quite robust. At first, you're like, I don't know if I like this, and then when you become accustomed, you're like, actually, you wait for that, I like you kind of smell, knowing that it's part of the journey of the fragrance. Does that make sense? To put into full detail, where I live, there's a lot of market gardens around, and they fertilize with blood and bone, I guess. And this is weird, I know, because this is why I didn't want to sort of share too much. But it's very stinky and very poopy-like. Now, I actually wind my windows down. And when I first moved into the area, I'm like, what in the world is that smell? I mean, like, it smells like a dead animal. But now, when I know that they're putting this blood and bone out, I just like it. I wind the windows down, and I'm like, baby, it just smells, I don't know, it just smells nice to me. Weird. But when I get people who, like, they come to visit, and they're like, what in the world is that smell? And I'm like, don't worry, they're fertilizing it. They're putting the manure out, I guess. So this guy here, what you get on that opening is we're now moving into the hay-like, where Achilles is very green, very, not necessarily cut grass, but that sort of scent profile, that cannabis, sort of robust. I find that this one here, Persephone, is a lot more on the dried earth side of things. So I get a very hay-like quality to it. I get a very almost fermented yeast. Is that right? Or is that on the next one? No, yeah, on this one. I get a fermented sort of yeasty scent profile to it. It is, and this is the interesting thing, it is boozy, but not boozy at the same time. So when I think boozy, and not being a drinker, I just have to define, so booziness to me either falls into like a whiskey or a sort of a more caramel booziness to it, or a wine which is a lot more fruity and I can instantly see red as its color. Here it falls into that caramel whiskey hay sort of element with that fermentation sort of occurring at the same time. There's also, to my nose, a licorice type of note, and this is now more a molasses licorice as opposed to the fennel, which is on the green side. I'm getting more of a molasses caramel but licorice element to it. This is another one which is weird on the opening, but it is gorgeous. Another one that I've been really enjoying. It is more of a, we'll say, an evening style of fragrance, more of a cooler weather as opposed to the first three, which I've been using quite, because of the heat. Whereas this other one on a cooler day, I have been sort of jumping in. This is one that, as I mentioned, Hannah was not really, in favor of. It does have a tobacco dark, she defined it as a tobacco dark chocolate, orange. She mentioned orange in the thing, in the scent profile. I don't get the orange element of it. I do get a cinnamon sort of spiciness. One of the boys, I think it's Hayden, he said it reminds him of a drink called Fireball. I don't know what it is, but as he defined it, he basically mentioned it's cinnamon with some sort of dark rum or whiskey element to it. That's what it reminded him of. It is more of a, like I said, evening, boozy. I'm getting a cardamom, sort of a cardamom scent profile coming through from it too. It is woody. When it dries down, this is what I love. So right now it's kind of vibrant and sort of alive and full of energy. As it dries down, it does go in two different places. It does go into very beautiful caramel, a lot more gentle, not necessarily like a brown sugar. So this, it still has the hay-like or the other elements to it, more than just caramel. So it's not a gourmand in any shape or form. I get this, so for me, I would say that this falls more into, again, like a semi-pro into veteran. You guys would enjoy this. Now this last one, this is only for 5 stars, or even a Supreme Leader, because this Supreme Leader is still debating on it. There is a deep smokiness to this fragrance, mixed in with a boozy element. Again, not a drinker. Josh, when he smelled it, he was like, whoa, this is tequila. So for him, it has a tequila style of profile to it. This is one that Hannah also did not enjoy. And just to quantify, Hannah really enjoys more vanilla, not necessarily deep gourmands, but that vanilla, slight fruit touch, a lot lighter in its profile. She's not a big oud fan or things of that nature. So these two here, not really something that she would naturally gravitate towards. Whereas Josh, he didn't mind the boozy element. I think he liked the unusual sort of excitement behind the fragrance. I didn't spray this one here to my 2 Padawans, and that was only because the area that we are in I know this permeates the air. So for starters, where I am situated, the location is called, we call it the cage. And every time you walk into the cage, our area, It smells beautiful. Beautiful perfume is, you know, because as I say, we're all testing. So there's wonderful smell. This one here lingers in the air for a long period of time. And I didn't want to spray in the area that we were in with Hayden and Harley, because I just knew this was going to sit there. And if it's a scent profile that people don't appreciate, then yeah, I didn't want any drama. This one here, I need to spend more time with. As you can see, it's the one that I have sprayed the least. It's not one that necessarily is, not that it doesn't appeal to me, but it's one that I don't gravitate to automatically or naturally. Look, overall, I go back to my beginning. I'd recommend these guys. I recommend that you test them out for yourself. New brand new to the niche field. I do like what Frida, her principles, you know, what she's aiming to achieve. I know that she has received, I've jumped on her page and had a look at some of the things that she's doing. She has received quite a bit of press, which is awesome. Congratulations. And I think the fragrances, I look forward to seeing what other people have been saying about them. I know that I think even Daniel from Selden Lee often has mentioned something about this. So I would be curious to see what he thinks. I purposely didn't look at anything because I wanted to just give you my thoughts. So I'll be curious to see what others are thinking of the fragrances too. Boom, testing. All right, I'm gonna end it on that. We're moving on. I want to, actually, just on that, if there's other things that you think I should look out for, I do love the mainstream stuff, so it's important because you want accessibility to it. But at the same time, I love these unique, unusual. One thing I did say, and just so you know, just to quantify, I did say to Frida that, because she said, you know, can I send you this? Please, no problems at all. But my disclaimer is this: if I don't like them, I won't talk about them. And no disrespect to the brand. It's just that I don't want to be making up stuff, because then I have to remember these stories. I prefer always to speak from the heart and then just share. If they resonate with me, then I will gladly talk about it. If they don't, then it's not something that I will bring up. So if you've got any recommendations, put them on my radar. I will then hunt them down, look at what they're doing, and then see if I would like to explore. Boom. All right, last two things, the announcements. Number one is that we do have a promo running, the OT Traveler. All you have to do is take a photo, put it on, so take a photo of your exotic location. These came in last week, so thank you for those who participated. I do love, I mean, as I said, for you, it may be mundane because you walk past this every day, but for me, super exotic. So thank you. It is a beauty contest, meaning that the people who are behind the scenes, you know, the likes, or the love hearts that these are getting, that will be the winner in the end. What's up for grabs is a $50 50 US credit on your next OT purchase. Just tag myself, tag OT, and that way we can repost it and see the sort of the action that gets. The next thing, okay, so the last thing, you ready? Oof, I'm so tired. I'm gonna have a little bit of a map there. Have a look at this. Look at this picture. Now this was something that I posted in 2021. Next week I'll go into more detail and I'll expand a bit more. It is NFC's birthday, 5 years. NFC was born out of pure serendipity. It just occurred. It was never, ever on my radar. I know that when a friend of mine, I'll tell the long story next week. The short story of it is, during our lockdowns that we had here in Australia, 7 months, 8 months, 10 months of not being able to move out of our place. 5Ks was the radius that we were allowed. It was crazy. And to entertain myself, I was just filming my perfume bottles and doing these reviews just for fun, to send them to friends. A friend of mine said, you really should put them out on YouTube. No one's gonna watch it. But I did it, and you know, and bada bing, then NFC was born on the 5th of February. There were some things that I did in the lead up to it because I was just testing to see, is it really going to work? And the response was fairly positive. And so I thought, you know what, let's just roll the dice and see where this thing lands. So it's 5 years now. And now this photo here, and it was by chance as I was going through my Insta today to see who's participating with the OT Traveler. And I got a little memo or a little, like, hey, in 2021, you posted this. And this photo, and I did a story, this photo it's madness because there's something that I'm preparing in the background. And this photo it's just, this artwork that we're preparing or that I'm involved in right now. Anyway, it's just crazy. There's a book that I was reading, and I know that it sounds like, what are you talking about? I'll share more next week. There is a book that I was reading during that lockdown period because I was just literally going insane. There was one night, just to give you a quick heads up, one night where I was folding my clothes, and Sandra was watching me, and she just said I had this. She was worried I was going to go jump off a bridge or anything. Like, she was worried that evening because it was a very difficult time for me personally. But anyway, I was reading a book, which is this one here, and I was mispronounced, but it's The Universe Has Your Back. I think over that period, I must have listened, sort of rebooted it like 2 or 3 times, just to give me hope that things will work out in the end. It was in no way did I think that I would be here. It's wild, and almost to the point where this was like, if a genie came out, and I've said this before, if a genie came out of the bottle and go, hey, yo, what do you want? I would have said, well, it would be cool to do these things. And literally the genie's like, bop, 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 and all these things have happened. Anyway, so next week I'll tell you more about NFC, 5th birthday, but it's crazy that we're here. Now there will be a promo, and the giveaway will be a full bottle of Dolce Milano. I'll tell you the story why. There is something written on the back, and that is all, this is why it's all connected. There's a storyline there for those who have Dolce Milano. Just read that, because that's actually a journal entry that I wrote back in 2022, I think it is. I can't. And it was my first experience of Milan and what all this means. I'll bring it all together next week, but know that next week we'll start a promo. It'll be, I think, fairly easy to win. So if you'd like to participate, that'll happen next week. Bada bing, we are done. Hoping everybody is well. I do look forward to your comments. I promise that I read them. I don't have time to answer them right now. But one more week of Australian Open, and then this week we're done, and I can get into some form of normal rhythm again, and back in the office, and can do some more things. Thank you, everyone. Wishing you everyone happiness and peace, and a great week ahead. See you all next week on MATÉ Talk.